Martha Hendrick Realty in beautiful Bend, Oregon. It amazes me sometimes at the number of people who spend more time researching the type of cell phone, refrigerator, washer, or television or flat screen they're going to buy rather than choosing a real estate expert that's going to represent them and be on their side, whether it be buyer or seller, in helping them either to price their home or to buy a home. It's imperative. It's a huge financial decision, and there's a lot to the offer process. From the seller standpoint, it's important to know how to price your property for sale in order to get a deal done, get a transaction in escrow. From the buyer side, it's equally important to know what the property should sell for, what the property will probably appraise for in today's market, and what is the strategy, what is the negotiating strategy. I usually tell most of my buyers and sellers and people who are interviewing me to be on their side, that the thing they haven't been able to appreciate me the most yet is my super negotiating skills. I know what to say, I know when to say it, I know what not to say, and what to ask. That's the most important thing. I'm a good question asker. For instance, when I call and make the appointment and ask what the encumbrances, if any, what the liens are on the property, if it's a short sale, which is in our MLS as well, but try to dig deep into the time frame of the process. If it's a traditional sale, I usually ask the seller, do they have children? Are they motivated by a time frame of living in this house before they transfer to another location? Are they planning to build a house? I can get a lot of information just by asking open-ended questions, which they may or may not answer. If I'm on the other side as a seller, I don't often answer any of those questions. I just say these people have their home in the market and they are ready to sell with a buyer who wants to purchase their property, because I don't want to give it away any negotiating skills or strategy from my seller standpoint, because I'm trying to get them the very best price. From the buyer side, I dig deep into questions and often get really good information. Time frame is important. The amount you offer is important. As far as the percentage off of the list price, there's no straight across the board percentage. It depends on the property. It also depends on the days on the market. Before I even show a property, I know the history of the property as far as its sales, what it sold for when it was first purchased, what improvements have been put into the property, and how much it should sell for. And then we come in with a range. If you come in too low, a lot of buyers say, well, shoot, in a market like this, why can't I just make a lowball offer? I found in any market we're in, if you make such a ridiculous offer, the seller has one or two opportunities to respond. Either to cross a line through it and be mad and not be willing to negotiate and just say, rejected, make reasonable offer, or he can see that you're a serious prospect, but just after a good deal, and come back with a legitimate counteroffer. The first offer that a buyer makes will set the tone between the marriage, if there is going to be one, between seller and buyer. So you'll need to think through your down payment. The stronger the down payment, the better interest rate you'll get. Also, you will need to have a pre-approval letter in today's market. We'll talk a little bit more about that. You'll also need to consider the time frame, typically a 30 to 45 day close. What inspections will you get, and what is the time frame? That's usually 10 days from mutual acceptance of the offer. As soon as the offer is escrowed by either a promissory note, earnest money check in the form of a cashier's check, a personal check, payable to the title company, that money is held by the escrow officer at the title company and will be placed toward your down payment, and you will be given credit at the time of closing. So that's part of your down payment. And then the first thing the title company will do is run a preliminary title search, and that's to see if there are any clouds on title, liens or M&M liens that would distract from the sale. So into considering the amount that you're going to pay for it, your realtor advisor would bring out all the comps that are like, kind, and quality of that neighborhood. Square footage is just one part of the equation. You need to look at the age of the home, the location of the home, People asked me last week, does golf course necessarily bring the price of the property up? It may, but there are 30 golf courses at least in Bend, Oregon, so it really depends on the location of the home on the golf lot. In one instance, if the cart path is so close to the outside deck of the home, that would probably not equate as much as the cart path on the other side of the fairway or the green, and with less one-to-one where you'd almost have to howdy-do to every neighbor that came down or everyone who's playing golf that day. So it's privacy. Now, if you just love the fact, I've lived on golf courses before that were set back with a cart path on the other side, and if you love the fact that you're looking at expanse for at least 6 to 7 months up here in Bend because of the seasonality of the golf, then they mow it, they fertilize it, and they water it. I think it's a heck of a deal. But it just depends on the location of the lot. So those are a few tips on how do you write an offer, how much you're going to put down, what is your initial offer going to be, how much spread do you anticipate, and one other thing you might consider, if the seller has priced the property, as so many do in today's market, especially with bank-owned or foreclosed properties, they may be undervalued to the market. So I sold 2 homes this spring on the west side of town where the actual offer, they already had 5 offers by the time my prospective buyers offered, and they had 5 offers to look at, and we made our best offer, and we missed out because the home sold for $35,000 and $40,000 over. The next time we encountered a bank-owned property, remember, if you think it's a really good deal, and if you think it's a really unbelievable deal, and your realtor knows so, and will point out why with the statistics and the charts and the Excel sheets, then you'd better follow her advice if you really are sold on that home and offer as high as you possibly can for that market. That's a good tip.